This player, first of all, Bart, Xavi Simons. So, Dutch, been at Red Bull, is, or was actually, I should say, a PSG player, but is now, or has now made the move to Germany permanently in a very strange deal, which we're going to get to shortly. But this is a player with international pedigree, an attacking midfielder, Bart, that it feels like one of those FIFA names I always think when I hear this, and people will like it. Let's have a look at Xavi Simons. Probably get the name wrong. Xavi Simons stats. What do they actually tell us, Bart?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. He profiles. He's got two profiles, which, as we said before, can sometimes mean good or bad things, right? It means he doesn't really fit in one, or he has strength in us. So we'll do, because I think he'll be bought. We're profiling for any of the front three, right? So we'll use the attacking mid wingers profile. If we look at standard stats for him at the moment, so defensively, he's 80th, 70th, 56 for aerials. That's pretty good considering Mo had like a low amount in the last game. 70% good. Interceptions 80, so that's more of the, as we thought about, maybe blocking the passing chains and trying to get in. Blocks a little bit low for that, but that's okay. Tackles, he's not going to go and do the pressing so much. He's more of an off and block passing lane. So that's an interesting thing for defensively. Things that concern you. So this box here is what he does between the two boxes, right? Typically, we want our forwards to have green here. So that is your progressive passes received. Yeah, so when you're high up and you're receiving the ball, and then you're taking that into the box, you're having an attacking penalty box touch, right? So he's actually below 40th percentile for these, for his comparison to his own players in this position. So like Mo Salah, Cody, Diaz. So that's a bit of a worry, which suggests that he's not receiving it high enough, and he's also not then getting that in the box. Put that to one side though. Does he take players on? Yes, he's in the 81st percentile, but he probably might be slightly deeper than we want him to be. Progressive carries, so he's more of a carrier, so 73 percentile, but he also can pass the ball as well. So that's quite a dual access to have. And pass completion at 79, which Mo in the last game had 82. So that's quite a good comparison to have. The passes attempted is 88 percentile. So that's, so there are some good elements. I think we would just need to look at, when we look at some of the stuff I've done, about where he's picking that ball up, because that would be a slight concern, I would say, with this player. What does he do when he's finally in that box? So non-penalty goals, he's 30th percentile, which again, if he's not getting the box a lot, he's not going to get that many opportunities. So yeah, that makes sense. Non-penalty XG, low, and shots, his shot volume at 2.4. I mean, Chiesa did that in a summer appearance. So, that suggests to you that it's a little bit on the low side. For players in his position, so 4 or 5 would be good again. Expected assists, 90th, 81. So he's more of a curator, should we say. So 5.29 shot creating actions is pretty good. But the caveat with all of this is that we ask our attacks going throughout wide players. Everyone who's seen the pass maps on UP will see the U, right? So we need our wide players to be taking shots on as well as creating for others. So he's only got one element of that, which he could be a bit of a Diaz, because Diaz can go through high streaks of scoring, but then he looks to just create. And he can sometimes be in between. An early Diaz, should we say. If we compare him to, let's look at what footed he is. He's right footed, so we would play him on the left. So we compare him to Cody, his Dutch teammate. I mean, that you can't really get much more night and day than that. Cody is left side of the wagon wheel. Xavi is the right. That's a very different profile. If we look at, just try to find another one that we've been. So we've been linked with Kittens. different profile from Simons. Simons are a lot more established in terms of passing and creation. If we look at Diaz, who he might arguably, let's see if Diaz outperforms him in terms of aerials, tackles, and blocks. So Simons does better defensively. Diaz is slightly better in some areas. So if you're going to look at profiles, Simons and Diaz are probably the most similar, but I would say an early Diaz is what Simons is about. Just looking at his minutes, because we always look at his playing time. So he has done 2-8, 2-2, and we are halfway through the Bundesliga season. So he's done about 1,000. So he's probably going to end up with about RB likes having a great season. So I would suggest he's probably going to end up about 2,000. Which, bearing in mind our guys starters 3,500, 4,000. That's quite a step up in minutes to be making, and he's never done that. He's done that once 3 years ago for PSV. So minutes played, and his ability to actually take shots off, and the positional players are probably flags from the every brief data to look at. If we look at where he is positionally here, he's typically. It's not as high as you would expect him to be, but they're quite deep. It's little, so it's a bit of a team setup. They're quite narrow in their approach, so there's not an opportunity for him to attack. Even when you look at broken play, so this is, even if you look at just final third, he's not that well connected. So there's a few things. How's he receiving the ball? He is receiving the ball. What's that? 2 passes per minute or so. So that's pretty good touches wise, not bad. What's he doing? He's involved in very low, which is breakaway. So that carrying nature of what he's doing, and then release. So that's good to see. Is he involved in our magic areas, should we say? Not a great volume. That could be set up, but if you're coming from deep, he's not making it into those areas, which is some of the areas we needed him to be in. Just to see if I can run the other one. So if we look at some of his stats, so where did he pick up the ball? Just trying to find him on here. He's in around here somewhere, but again, it's not in an area. It's the white one here. So he's in the half space, but only just, and that's on average. So there's some parts that I like, and there's some bits that not to like. I mean, last week won this game. I think Drew, they won the game. He performed on the metrics. We just looked at Mo where he outperformed. Stat me up. Mo outperformed the always metrics apart from aerials. This guy here is on the line, so the dot is the average. So he's not above any of the averages. He's actually just on the line. It just looks like he's performing it. So that gives you an idea about who he is in that game. Let's have a look at shot locations. Did he take any shots? So they're out wide. Generally we ask our forwards to take them. I mean, I know Mo scored from here, but at the weekend. But generally ask our forwards to take them in this kind of box area. So it's good that it's in the box, but it's not as central as we would like it to do. So it's an interesting one. I would suggest it if you were ranking. We've done a few of this. The left side, haven't we? Which suggests their profile on our left forwards. I would suggest he might be lower down that list of priorities of players that they're looking for. It might be an opportunity signing. I don't know what the deal is. You probably got some deals on that, some information on that about what the financial side of it. But in terms of the fit, I think it depends what you want. If you want a player who's potentially got some raw, and I can give you some of the physical data because it's Bundesliga. So his top speed this season is 33, which is very high, above. If you look at his distance covered is 124, intensive runs is 88, so that's 886. He's done 306 sprints in appearances, 11. That's 5 appearances, but so that's a fairly decent amount of some matches played 12. So he's just over 2-2-3-2. Yeah, he's a decent amount of sprints a game to be had, which so physically he could give us that pacey outlet on the left. It's just that I think positionally he seems to be receiving it deeper for Leipzig than we would like, but that could be a team thing. So that's probably a overarching, I would say, a lower ranked one on that list if I were having to put them in a rank.
It's just a quick one on this, and I'm kind of putting it on the spot because it's interesting. The bit we got on Xavi Simons, and I know people, when I first heard the name, I thought this is an attacking midfielder, but as a lot of the analysts suggested, Leipzig do specifically use him on the left quite often. Sometimes they'll use him in like an attacking midfielder role. But so I suppose there's a question is from if he was to use in an attacking midfielder. I mean, transfer marks is generic, but they've actually got him half his games on the left wing, half his games on the midfielder. Is there any element of could he be almost a Harvey Elliott type, shall we say, could play in the attacking midfielder and used on the wing? Is there any evidence on that? Because the left side stats didn't exactly shine. We've got to be honest on that.
Yeah, I mean, if you flick into that profile, he does then all of his attacking metrics go to a green, so that's really good. But his passing is not great for someone who's in that area of time. He drops down to 24% of pass completion, which is quite poor for someone that high up the pitch, given some of the players that we do play in there. But he passes and carries are good. Defensively, though, it's worse than he was playing out wide. Now, when we ask if you're playing him in that 10 role, right, we generally ask him 10 to do a lot of defensive work. I mean, he's in 7% of tackles. It's not that bad because it might be that he's not pressing, but interception, blocks, clearances, I mean, they're not even about 20% of that. That would worry me slightly about a defensive side of it if you're going to play him there. I don't know if I've got any defensive ones lined up. Anyone who can play in that area, but no, I think there are some bits there to like, but I think he would be a very attacking. If you're going to play him in that 10 role, he would be a very attacking option. But because of the way our system is, I'm not sure. So at the weekend, Dom covered a huge amount of ground from that normal attacking midfield role. Right? I'm not sure Simons is your player to do that.
Yeah, you think as well how important Szoboszlai is in that system. You've just got so many concerns from the data, and whether you put him on the left-hand side, there's that element. Whether you put him in the middle, there's nothing. We've got to be honest that's showing. And we talk as we always do around the metrics, the actual transfer bit. This is one of the bizarrest bits of business we've seen recently, Bart. Red Bull, I mean, he's been on loan there for 2 years from PSG, and people are wondering what's happened. Red Bull have bought him for a package, and I saw it was there in the comments, for 55 million euros. So you're talking about 47 million quid, plus there could be add-ons. Look at the length of this deal, Bart. So by the end of the season, he'll have 2 years left to go on his contract, which kind of strikes you as Red Bull Leipzig are buying this player with almost like a house that you flip quickly, isn't it? You inherit, you do a bit of work on it, and you flip him round. It just feels like that because the package apparently from PSG does include a sell on it in that regard. But I don't think we should spend too long on this. There's nothing really we can say from Xavi Simons that for all the stuff we've got to do this standing out, is there?